Your life will move in the direction of your words. Your life will move in the direction of your words. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Our language is so incredibly important, ladies and gentlemen. How we speak to others, how we talk to ourselves, the language that we use will either take us towards our destiny or away from it. So we have to be very, very mindful of the words, of the language that we choose to use on a daily basis. There was a bunch of stuff in there about, again, the correlation between how we think and what happens in our life, but also our words, the language that we use in order to get ourselves to that place. So this is what we have to be mindful of. This is the talk for this morning, because the power of what we say. And again, not just to others, that's important, but also what you say to yourself. The very beginning of that video, I think Joel Osteen was in there saying, right, when we have language like, I'll never catch a break. Oh, that's just my luck, right? Nothing good happens to me. I don't get those things, right? When we have that defeatist language, that language of lack, that does not produce the life that we want. It does not produce the life of abundance, the life of love. It doesn't produce that. What do you say? A poor mouth cannot will create a poor life, right? Or something along those lines. So you got to know, this is all about your language. This is all about what you are saying to yourself and then out loud to other people. In the text, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class says here, the great ones use world-class language. As if we didn't know, right? We have to change the language that we use with ourselves and others. Here's what it says. It says the fastest way to identify a person's level of consciousness is by listening to the way they use language. Big words and fancy phrasing don't mean much. As a matter of fact, it can hinder your ability to communicate effectively. When I say use language, I mean what you say and how you say it. A champion distinguishes himself by the attitude his words convey. You can spot a world-class thinker by listening to his ordinary conversation. A champion is optimistic, future-oriented, and confident, and their words and enthusiasm reflect this thought process. While a middle-class thinker talks about just getting by and working for the weekend, a champion uses words such as thrive and prosperity and love. The language you use tells the world how you think and serves to reprogram and strengthen your belief in what you say. Say that again. The language you use tells the world how you think and serves to reprogram and strengthen your belief in what you say. An average thinker can program himself for mediocrity as easily as he can program himself for abundance. The universe doesn't care. It must give you what you ask for by natural law. So in essence, you either talk yourself into abundance or into scarcity by choice. Most of the world-class performers I've coached or competed with were unaware of this initially, yet at some point in their lives, learn the truth. Through self-education, they learn the power of programming through language. Thousands have said this one idea contributed more to their success than anything else. They now know they can talk themselves into any reality they desire. The lower levels of consciousness speak the language of fear and scarcity. The great ones speak the language of love and abundance. It's all in your words, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the sentence that said most of the world-class performers were unaware of this initially. That's why we're talking about it, because I want to make sure you're aware. Who was it in there that talked about self-awareness? Somebody in that video was talking about self-awareness. But at the end of the day, you have to be aware of these types of things. You have to even just be aware of your language, aware of what you're saying. In another training we've done, we've talked about something called metacognition, which is saying, are you thinking about what you're thinking about? Can you think about your thoughts? That's one of the places that we go. But the other places, are we thinking about our words? Are you aware of what your words are saying, like what you're actually saying when you're communicating to someone? The tonality, the underlying fear, scarcity. Is there abundance? Is it out of love? Are we even aware of those things? That's where it all starts, ladies and gentlemen. The beginning of any changes that you want to make, the beginning of any improvement that you want to make starts with self-awareness. So are you aware of your language? Are you aware of what you're saying to yourself? Are you aware of what you're saying to other people? Do you listen to what other people around you say? Are you aware of their language? Tony Robbins in there said something very, very important that, again, if we dive into it, it happens to all of us. But he said, when there's rapport, the person that is most certain will influence the other person. So in a relationship, in an interaction where there's rapport being built, there is commonality, there is understanding happening. And that is right, like that's kind of what's happening in that relationship. The person that is the most certain in that relationship will always influence the person that is uncertain in that relationship. We can see this as adults, but it's easier to see as children. See, a child is uncertain. A parent has more certainty. A family member, someone close to us, has more certainty than that child does. So when there is rapport, when there's love, when there is conversation, when there's community, the person that's more certain will win, will influence the other. So that's why a parent, someone that's close to you, can influence you way more because there's rapport and they are more certain than you, or they sound more certain than you in that interaction. So that's why kids are easily programmed, why human beings are easily programmed. Here's what you have to do as an adult is the exact same things. When you walk into that room, when you are in the room with your friends, with your peers, with the people around you, and there is rapport being built, there's community being built, pay attention to the languages of the other people that are around you. Because the more certain person will always influence the other person or the other people. So if someone's more certain that you should do a certain thing, go somewhere, watch something, listen to something, think about something a certain way, if they're more certain about that topic than you are, they're going to influence you. So it's important to listen to the languages of the people that are around us, because that language influences us if they are more certain than we are in a certain topic, in a certain area. So we have to be mindful of this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We have to be mindful and aware of what's happening around us in the languages that we're hearing. Not just from people, also, right? Like from entertainment, from music, from movies that we watch, right? All of this is language that goes into our thought process. It correlates to how we think about things, right? I was on TikTok. I saw a random post, and a guy was saying, you know, he wonders why when like people that go out to the club, I don't go to the club anymore, right? But people that go to the club, he's like, wonder why like it never seems like people are having fun, right? Where people are just kind of like standing around or sitting around, and he's like, because of the music that we're listening to some like gangster, kill 'em, shoot 'em type music. And yet we're trying to love and dance and have a good time. So the energies are off completely because of the language of the music that we're listening to, right? The language of what's happening changes our energy, our frequency. So it's not around love and abundance. It's around shooting and killing and all of these other things. So we have to be mindful in even those little areas. And even those little areas, we have to be mindful of the language. But most importantly, take this amongst yourselves to say, well, I'm going to correct my language. Yes, I'm going to understand and hear the people around me's language, but I'm actually going to do this for myself. I'm going to focus on myself and my language and what I allow out of my mouth and how I speak to myself, because it says here, you can either talk yourself into abundance or talk yourself into scarcity. You have that ability. Each and every one of us, we have that ability to either talk yourself into abundance, talk yourself into the life that you deserve, talk yourself into the ideal life that you're designing, or you can talk yourself into scarcity. You can talk yourself into lack. You can talk yourself into fear. You can talk yourself into things that are taking you away from that place. But it's on us. It's on us. If it is to be, it's up to me. Again, it says here, through self-education, they learn the power of programming through language. So you can program your life, the life that you want, that's out there that I keep telling you, you got to have a vision for. One of the ways that we get there is using the proper language to inspire us, to motivate us, to encourage us. Some of us want encouragement from other people, but do we encourage ourselves? Do we speak well of ourselves? We want others to speak well of us, but do we speak well of ourselves? Do you look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, man, I'm a stud. I can do this. Man, I'm great. I'm amazing. When was the last time you believed that you were amazing, that you can do anything that you want, that you can have the life that you deserve? Like, do you believe those things? Is that your belief system? That's what Jim Quick was talking about in the video. Our beliefs. Do you believe you're the person that can change? Do you believe you're the person that can, have your ideal life? If you don't necessarily believe it just yet, start talking it and get yourself to believe it. Start talking it. Start using your language to say, I am a multimillionaire. I have great relationships. I'm very sociable. Whatever the thing is that you don't think you have, like, program yourself through language. That's the key. Here's the action step for today. It says, become hyper aware of how people around you talk. Listen to the words they use to describe their experiences. Based on this, evaluate their level of consciousness. Begin to monitor your language and ask yourself the same question. You're going to be shocked by how easy it is to recognize a middle-class consciousness and how simple it is to upgrade to the world class. The secret is becoming more aware. Awareness is the key. All of your behavior is belief-driven. If you're aware of your beliefs, if you're aware of what you're saying to yourself, if you're aware of how you get motivated, in our couples therapy group session that my wife and I go to, the therapist was talking about the ways that we motivate ourselves, and some of them not good. Some of us get motivated by shaming, or some of us get motivated by guilt, or some of us get motivated by revenge, or some of us get motivated by fear, right? There are a lot of actual negative emotions that we can become aware of as how we're motivated. But the purpose of her exercise was just saying, are you aware of that? No right, wrong, indifferent, it doesn't matter. But are you aware that, like, you get motivated by shaming yourself? That, like, you want to go to the gym, if you look in the mirror and be like, I'm such a fat slob, I can't believe I eat this way, and that actually motivates you to go to the gym. Some people get motivated by shaming, right? So it's just becoming aware of what actually motivates you. Same thing in your language. Just become aware. Become aware of what language you're using to get you doing the things that you're doing, or that has you doing things that you don't want to do, or the language that we need to change in order to get us to do the things that we want to do. This is the key. Use this weekend to focus on the words. Listen to more people. Listen to yourself a bit more. Do something that challenges you and changes your thought process when it comes to your words. Focus on your words this weekend. Say some kind things to people. Say kind things to yourself. Try to go one full day this weekend not being negative. Try going one day, one 24-hour period this day without saying anything negative to yourself or to another person. See how that works for you. Promise you, if you push yourself and challenge yourself, good things are going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. You deserve it. All of you have a great weekend. We'll jump back in on Monday and make this thing happen. It's too crowded down here at the bottom. Time to get to the top. Love y'all. Take care.